Welcome to Affiliate Buzz, the longest-running program on affiliate marketing. James and Arlene Martell are here to inspire, inform, and motivate you with expert insight, interviews, and information that will increase your bottom line. Advance your affiliate marketing efforts every week on Affiliate Buzz. Now, please welcome James and Arlene.
Hi, it's James Martell here, and yes, welcome to edition number 433 of the Affiliate Buzz, where we've been keeping affiliates inspired, informed, and motivated to succeed with affiliate programs since way back in 2003. If you're joining us live here today on Cranberry.fm, it's great to have you with us. If you're joining us through a podcast on your smartphone, your tablet, computer, or maybe your Wi-Fi radio, a very special welcome to you as well. Arlene is away today, however, not to worry because I do have a very special guest joining us, Cris Angelini, Sales Director for UnsubCentral.com, and today we're going to talk about avoiding CANSPAM penalties, managing email opt-outs, and preserving brand integrity with clean email lists. Now, Cris serves as Unsub Central's sales director, where he consults with prospective clients to determine the best Unsub Central services for their needs. He is an accomplished business professional with 20 years of experience in people, process, revenue, growth, and sales leadership. Prior to working at Unsub Central, Cris was the Vice President of Revenue Development at Volusion, where he was responsible for working cross-departmentally to help drive core product sales, revenue growth, customer service, and partner recruitment. Cris, welcome to the Affiliate Buzz.
Thanks, James.
Hey, I understand you just got back from Affiliate Summit in New York. Just give us a little snippet of how you felt the event went for yourself.
The event was great, as most of the affiliate summits that I visit are. It was a pretty quick turnaround for myself and our team. I came in on Monday and actually spoke and headed up a roundtable on how to reduce the number of your opt-outs. And then we flew out again Tuesday afternoon. But it was a fantastic event. I think there were over 5,000 attendees, had some great meetings, and met some great new prospects.
Yeah, it's always great to hit good old Affiliate Summit, and it's been so great to see the event just flourish and prosper over the years. Now let's do this before we dig in and talk about Unsub Central and talk about CANSPAM and all the things we're going to cover today. Take a moment, if you would, tell us about yourself, a little bit about your background. I know before we got on the show here, you told me you live in the beautiful state of Texas in the wonderful city of Austin. But give us a little background.
Yeah, so I do live in Austin, Texas, and it's fantastic. A little warm this time of year, but it's still a great place to be. I currently work for Unsub Central as sales director here. And you gave a nice review of that. Previously, I was at an e-commerce platform called Volusion, and they are very similar to Shopify, if you're familiar with them, as a way for small business owners to sell things online. I was there for about 7 years or so. That company grew tremendously while I was there. We were doing less than $2 million a year in revenue when I started, and we did over 65 the year I left.
Wow.
So that was a great exit. Prior to that, I worked for a company called City Search, which is an IAC company, and I was helping sell and help small businesses market themselves with online marketing and also with Google AdWords. So I've been in the online advertising / e-commerce industry for, probably 15 years now. Yeah, that's sort of my history. I went to the University of Texas, go Longhorns, graduated in 98, and just couldn't wait to get back to Austin.
Yeah, there you go. So we also mentioned that I'd been there. Arlene and I were there 3 years ago, and for a summit event and share a sale as well. So we know your beautiful city. It's gorgeous, a lot of fun, and highly recommended as a destination to our listeners. So let's do this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Unsub Central? In fact, why don't we just start up with a real simple question? What is Unsub Central?
Sure. Unsub Central is a SaaS platform that allows advertisers to collect and distribute data, automated, and also anonymize the data as well. So, a big problem that advertisers had when the CAN-SPAM Act came out was affiliates who were mailing on behalf of the advertisers needed the opt-out list that advertisers own, but they didn't want to give the opt-out list to the affiliates, obviously. And then, of course, the affiliates had worked very hard to get their email list and didn't want to hand it over to the advertisers for them to scrub against. So Unsub Central was born as a result of that, and we've been going strong since 2003.
So if you could talk a little bit about that relationship where you've got Unsub, or you've got an advertiser and you've got an affiliate, and we have this law in the middle now called CANSPAM that can be devastating to a company if they get taken on for it. If I recall correctly, even one infraction can cost you $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. Maybe you could speak to that first.
Yeah, infractions can cost up to $16,000 per. It's a bit of an odd number, but that's what they came up with. Obviously, the CAN-SPAM Act was created to help stop unwanted marketing, specifically generated towards customers and B2C type advertising. And it's funny that really the only people who sort of adhere to the law are going to be your name brand and your reputable advertisers. Everybody still gets some spam every now and then from scams and things of that nature, but it really has helped clean up the messaging, and obviously it really works out to be a good thing for the advertiser as well, because if you communicate with your customers when and how they want to be communicated with, they're going to be better customers and buy more from you. So it's been a good thing for the industry and for the consumer.
So when it comes to managing opt-outs, explain the scenario here. So you've got an affiliate who's got a list. I'd imagine you've got the advertiser who has a list. Mm-hmm. You've got a email subscriber in the middle that says, I don't want to be on your list, doesn't realize how the scenario works. Walk us through how that works with regards to Unsub Central.
Sure. So from the consumer perspective or the end user perspective, it's very simple. They click the unsubscribe link at the bottom of the email they received. They are taken to a URL that we host. They type in their email address and click to unsubscribe. It's that simple. Now on the back end, it's a little bit more complicated. We set up automated transfers between the advertiser's email service provider or CRM system and ourselves, so that when we collect those opt-outs that come in from the affiliate mailings, we can pass those back along to the advertiser so that they stay CAN-SPAM compliant on their side with their own internal mailings. And then also for any internal opt-outs or opt-outs from internal mailings that they have, we collect those back into the system as well. So that way when the next affiliate comes to scrub their list or do a mailing and compare, all the new addresses have been added and everything stays up to date.
So you mentioned CAN-SPAM compliant. For those who are maybe not quite sure exactly what that entails, could you address that?
Sure. There are a couple of things with regard to CAN-SPAM compliance, and some of them are fairly simple. You can't use misleading subject lines, for instance. You have to have a physical address in the email itself. And the most important piece of CAN-SPAM and staying compliant is honoring opt-outs. If someone wants to stop receiving mail from you, you have to make it easy for them to unsubscribe, and you have to honor that opt-out within 10 business days. So if I don't want to get emails from Ford anymore or any other company, I can opt out, and they have to take me off of their mailing list going forward.
So let's do this. I can see we're up against the break. I want to dig a little bit deeper into who Unsub Central is ideally suited for. Talk a little bit more about email suppression, and then dig deeper into exactly how your services can help an advertiser, and I would have to say probably an affiliate as well. Let's do that and more right after the break.
More affiliate buzz coming up after we hear from our sponsors.
Is your website hacked?
Is your website displaying error messages or loading slowly? Even if there are no signs of malicious activity, your site may still be compromised. Websites, like cars, require regular maintenance to perform at their best and not leave you stranded. At Fjorge, our website maintenance experts can help you assess which one of our maintenance plans will best support your needs. Visit fjorgedigital.com or call 612-877-3840 and get the support and protection your website and business deserve. That's FJORGE digital.com. UnsubCentral.com.
Are you paying too much for your paid advertising? Or have you quit altogether because it seemed like a huge waste of money? Studies show that companies waste 25% of their PPC spend on average. The web marketing experts at WMEtraining.com can show you how to make your AdWords account a lean, mean converting machine. Whether you're just starting out or want to take your skills to the next level, we have a class for you. Contact the web marketing experts at WMEtraining.com.
All of your favorite webmasterradio.fm programs.
Affiliate Buzz.
Next Gen Now.
CEO Coach, Cyber Law and Business Report.
Have found a new home. SEO Rockstars.
SEM Synergy. Webcology.
SEO 101.
PPC Rockstars.
Purse Strings with Maria Retan.
All of your favorite webmasterradio.fm programs have found a new home. Cranberry Radio. Cranberry.fm.
Time now to hear some more Affiliate Buzz. Here's James and Arlene.
Is away today, however, not to worry. I'm here with Cris Angelini, Sales Director for UnsubCentral.com. Okay, so I'm getting my head around this. I will say I'm the guy that's always on the affiliate side of the equation, so I'm not usually on the advertiser side. So, but we do have a lot of advertisers who are listeners. So, who would you say the Unsub Central services are ideally suited for?
Sure. Unsub Central is ideally suited for B2C advertisers. We have some very small companies that are just sort of starting out, and then luckily we've had the good fortune over our last 13 years of working with some of the biggest advertisers in the world. Current clients like AT&T, Allstate, Progressive Insurance, Groupon are some of our clients, and so we've had the ability to work with large and small customers. And any of those advertisers who are doing one of three things are doing affiliate email marketing are a great fit for us. If they have multiple email systems that they manage, for instance, an Allstate may have 3 or 4 different marketing groups and use different email service providers, we can be used, again, to collect the data from those different systems and push it back out. And then lastly, any advertiser who is doing any sort of co-marketing campaigns. So for instance, if United Airlines and Marriott want to do a joint marketing, but they want to suppress their own customers, for instance, we can take both lists, scrub them together, and then pass them back out and give them a list of their customers minus their co-marketing partners' customers so that there's no overlap. That's really been a huge surge in business for us over the last couple of years because, as more and more people understand how important data is, and even more importantly than that, how important it is to keep it secure. With PII, many of these businesses don't want to handle that burden, and so they outsource it to a company like Unsub Central.
With the scrubbing now, so you mentioned something. You've got advertisers who have different email providers. Even I myself have different email providers at the smaller level, but we have these databases that are, that have our clients. And I would assume, I'm just trying to visualize this, you would pull that data from the various from the various email platforms, email providers into Unsub Central, scrub the email list, removing anybody who in one of the lists said, hey, I want to opt out. You would then opt them out of the other list as well?
That's correct.
Okay, so that would be scrubbing. So I'm just trying to get a definition of scrubbing. So then talk to that a little bit, and also to this term email suppression.
Sure. So again, email scrubbing is exactly what you mentioned. You basically take a mailing file or a mailing list and you compare it against an opt-out list or any sort of suppression list. It could be a customer list. It could be email opt-outs, whatever you'd like to compare it to. And then returning the clean file or the suppressed file back to the mailer with all the names of people who are supposed to be opted out of, removed from that file. Unsub Central can handle it two ways. One, the advertiser can either import the file, or the affiliate can either import their file, or we can set up an API call to compare the file, pull it in, compare it, and give them back a clean file. Or if they prefer, they can download an MD5 or hashed encrypted copy of the file that turns all the email addresses basically into unrecognizable character strings.
Okay.
And then they can use a desktop tool that we provide to do the same scrubbing or comparison on their own machine, and they get a clean file back to mail. So there are a couple of ways to handle email scrubbing, but at the end of the day, it's really just comparing two lists and removing people you shouldn't be mailing to.
Okay, and I would assume this is all done in a pretty automated way.
Definitely. Yeah, that's one of the things that Unsub Central, being a compliance tool, we're not a sexy marketing tool, and we don't make customers a whole lot of money. So our idea is that we make it very simple to use, but basically it's sort of a set it and forget it type thing, right? Okay. You can set up your campaigns, you set up your opt-out pages, you set up your lists and group and rules, and then if anything goes wrong, if let's say a transfer fails or if a list hasn't been downloaded or something, we will proactively either email the affiliate or email the advertiser, depending on who needs to respond to something. So that way you don't have to continually log into our system. You only have to do it when you're alerted to.
Okay, cool. So now the advertiser, I would imagine they put a point person in place. How does an advertiser typically work with Unsub Central?
Sure. So when an advertiser comes on board, they are assigned a dedicated account manager. And that account manager does a couple of things. One, they help onboard them and set up their account. And then two, they are their main support contact going forward. So we typically schedule an hour onboarding session where we actually go through with the advertiser and help them create the list names, import their data, set up any sort of automation transfers that they need, as well as enter in any affiliates that they're working with, set up their opt-out page, and so on and so forth. So we take care of their complete account setup at the beginning so that they're ready to start sending or start working with email affiliates right away. And then if there are any questions they have about the account or anything going forward, they can reach back out to that dedicated account manager and they'll support them for the life of the account.
So what are some of the things that advertisers need to know or need to be aware of maybe before giving you guys a call or visiting the website?
Sure. I'd say the things that advertisers need to know are, one, know who you're going to be using as an affiliate. There are quite a few advertisers, and these are typically smaller ones who come to us who would like us to try and find email affiliates for them. Now, we do have some partnerships and we have some contacts, but ideally they're going to want to do some research and find out who are some reputable email affiliates in their specific vertical. Obviously, some OPMs and some affiliates, target specific verticals and they perform better in some than others. So just do a little research, know who you're mailing with, and then really all you need to know when you come to us is how large your suppression list is going to be. And your suppression list can be incorporated of not just your email opt-outs, but it can also be customers as well. So if you want to suppress against that, know how large those databases are. Have a logo, or if you would like to customize the opt-out page, have your HTML ready that we can just cut and paste and put in there. And really, that's all they need to know. It's a very quick setup. We typically have an account set up within 48 hours of signing on, and a lot of them are done within 1 day. So typically, we're the last step in getting up email affiliate marketing programs going. So we have to be quick and agile and turn that around. But if they know who they're going to mail with, and then they know their database sizes, that's really all they need to know to work with us.
Do me a favor and talk a little bit more about a suppression list. Like, take it down to newbie level where I am with
Sure.
that term. What exactly is that?
Right. A suppression list is really any file that consists of email addresses that you don't want to mail to. Obviously, anybody who is opted out of emails are going to be in that suppression file, right? Anybody, and some advertisers like to suppress against customers. For instance, if Netflix is running a promotion for $5 a month for 6 months, they don't want to send that to me who's paying full, $10 a month rates, right? So they include their customer list as well as their opt-outs in a suppression file. Some companies, like real estate companies, like to limit prospects as well. So they've gathered some leads that maybe haven't converted, but they don't necessarily want to have an affiliate mail them because they're already doing direct mail or direct emails to that group as well. So sometimes it can include prospects as well. So what we'll do is we'll keep all of those files in Unsub Central and we'll keep them separate. So there's no commingling. So at the end of the day, if the advertiser wants to pull their suppression file or their list, they know, okay, these were customers, these were people who opted out, these were prospects, and they can easily tell the difference between the three. One of the other things we can do, and this is something that we just rolled out with the release of our new platform last year, is a preference center. So rather than having your customer opt completely out of emails, which can cannibalize your list or cause considerable list attrition, we allow them to opt down as well. So you're still staying CANSPAM compliant. If they want to opt out of all emails, they can still do that. But we've found a decrease in unsubs by 75% for people that have implemented some sort of preference center. So they can opt down in frequency, for instance, going from daily to weekly or monthly emails. And they can also change the types of emails that they would like to receive. For instance, if you signed up for promotions and you're opting out and don't want that anymore, maybe you'll actually sign up for a list for new product releases or webinars or blog information, things of that nature. And so we've actually seen as a nice sort of unexpected win, or that when people go to opt out, they're not opting out completely. They're actually opting into additional lists that we store and give back to the client as well, so that they can in turn go ahead and mail to them.
Interesting. I've never heard the term opting down before. That's I can see how that would. You said up to 75% increase.
Yes, there was a Gartner survey done a couple of years ago that said 78% of people who opt out of emails don't opt out because they don't want to hear from the brand anymore. It's just the time or the type of communication isn't what they want. And so by giving the the consumer the ability to choose how often they're getting messaged and what type of message, you can really cut down on your list attrition and your opt-outs. One of the other things that we've released, and I think is really kind of innovative, is that on the thank you page for unsubscribing, that doesn't have to be a death knell and you're unable to market to that customer anymore. It means you can't email them. So what we like to advise our clients to do is on that thank you page say, we understand you don't want to receive emails anymore. We totally get that. But maybe you'd like to follow us on Twitter or Facebook to get promotions or deals that way. And so again, even though you may have lost that person, instead of opting down, they've completely opted out, but you still might get a chance to market to them through your social media or other channels as well. Because again, we're allowing the customer to choose how often and how they want to be marketed to.
You bet. Very, very interesting. Now I'm here with Cris Angelini, Sales Director for Unsub Central. And after a quick break, I'm going to ask Cris to talk a little bit about email data security and how it's managed at their end. We'll be right back.
More Affiliate Buzz coming up after we hear from our sponsors.
Great websites today need expert web design and development and need to be e-commerce ready and mobile friendly. But building a marketable and profitable website can be an uphill climb. Ready to make your new website or replace your existing website? Think Orange as the new way to get in the black. Orange Hill Development works with Fortune 500 companies and offer the same top quality development service at a fraction of what other providers charge. Brands like Absolute, Carlsberg, and Nestea trust Orange Hill Development. Find out why you should trust your website with Orange Hill. Contact Orange Hill for a consultation today at orangehilldevelopment.com.
Hey, this is Danny Sullivan to talk to you about Bruce Clay Incorporated. They've made Inc. Magazine's list of growing private businesses and have exhibited and sponsored at my conferences since the very beginning. You've seen their search engine relationship chart, or you've read their SEO code of ethics, so you know they're SEO experts. But did you know they can help you with PPC, web analytics, web design, marketing strategy, promotion, and branding? Yep, get everything you need for success in the online marketplace. You can check it out from the professionals at Bruce Clay Incorporated. For over 10 years with offices worldwide, they've got the answers you need. Check them out today at bruceclay.com.
Looking for a white label SEO and social platform for your clients? Think eBrands. Free and unlimited SEO audit reports. eBrands. Premium Facebook apps and welcome page creators. eBrands. Twitter management app, analytics, and mobile site generators. eBrands. Let eBrands manage your search and social media campaigns and give you and your clients access to their white label dashboard, which have great reports that will wow your clients and deliver great ROI and results. Try eBrands for 30 days. Go to eBrandsWithAZ.com or call 1-866-625-5717. That's eBrands with a Z for
eBrands. Pick out some new favorite podcasts now at Cranberry.fm.
Time now to hear some more affiliate buzz. Here's James and Arlene.
Arlene is away today. However, I am here with Cris Angelini, Sales Director for UnsubCentral.com. Now, Cris, we, of course, all of us have heard the horror stories of data breaches, online hackers, the whole mess that can happen. I would imagine email is similar as to credit cards, although maybe not as damaging, but maybe as damaging. In this case, how is email data security managed, and what does an advertiser need to be aware of?
Sure. So email security on the Unsub Central side is managed in a couple of ways, right? So we have to manage security of our own database and our own servers and environment there against attacks, similar to what the credit card industry does with PCI, as far as putting in best practices and keeping that environment secure. But Unsub Central has the added complication of transferring large quantities of email addresses between advertisers and affiliates. And to do that, we have set up a couple of different encryption methods, right? We support MD5 and SHA-256. MD5 is a 32-bit hexadecimal encryption method, which basically turns an email address into an unreadable string of characters. It works on the premise of replacing certain letters with other letters, and it has its own algorithm that runs so that you can hash the data, anonymize it so that it can't be seen with the naked eye. SHA-256 is a bit more complex. It actually is a 64-bit system, so it provides even more security and makes it much, much harder to sort of crack that encryption. To my knowledge, no one has ever cracked SHA-256, so it's been holding up quite well.
Wow.
Now,
cool.
In addition to that, we can also add a specific key. So in addition to SHA-256 or MD5, we can create a special key for an advertiser that adds one more layer of anonymity to the actual process, so that it will vary from affiliate to affiliate or advertiser to advertiser if they so want to go down that road.
I can see we are coming up against the clock, almost out of time. How can listeners reach out to Unsub Central, and how do you recommend they get started? Yeah.
Just visit UnsubCentral.com and check out the website. There are quite a few useful resources there. Some case studies and some blog articles that provide some great information. And then obviously there's the ability to request pricing or a demo as well. So if you fill that out, one of the members of the team will get back to you shortly and help you out with whatever you guys need.
Wonderful. Cris, thank you so much for joining us today. I can see we are out of time. Keep in mind that if there's anything Cris mentioned here today that you missed, that as usual, we do take all the notes for you, and you can find that information, including links to anything Cris has mentioned here today, at jamesmartell.com/AB433. I also invite you to come and hang out with us every Thursday afternoon here live on Cranberry.fm at 2 p.m. Pacific time for the Affiliate Buzz. And a final reminder that if you'd like to be alerted to new episodes each week, I invite you to subscribe to the Affiliate Buzz by sending a blank email to affiliate_buzz@aweber.com. That's affiliate_buzz@aweber.com. Cris, thanks again. And to our listeners, thanks for listening to another edition of the Affiliate Buzz.
The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and their guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of Cranberry News Marketing and Cranberry.fm. Rebroadcasts or retransmission of this content without proper consent is prohibited.